Good evening, everyone. So, I want to take tonight to talk about intuition and nurturing ourselves. Whenever we hear intuition, we think of something mystical, magical, something that is either you have it or you don't. I'm going to tell you a trade secret. Everyone has intuition. Everyone. It's not something that is just, oh my God, you were blessed by the gods, you have so much intuition. No. It's a part of you and your system. We were all born with it. And much like anything else in your system, it only works better if you've been taking care of your mind, your body, and your emotions. When all those things are cared for, everything, including your intuition, works so much better. Today we're not going to talk about doing more so much as we're going to talk about clearing out the noise and nurturing yourself a little better so that your intuition can be a little bit louder. So if you spent more than 90% of your day-to-day overstimulated, living on autopilot, making decisions that you thought were based on your intuition, but it was because you were so busy going spazzy that you didn't hear that they were better options for you until after, and you're probably kicking yourself in the tail. When you are mentally or physically or emotionally overstimulated, your intuition gets drowned out. It's not gone, it's just, it's too quiet and can't speak over everything else that you've got going on over here. So, because I'm a light foodie, I'm not ashamed entirely, we're going to actually talk about the stuff that you can eat or drink that can help regulate your system so that your intuition can be a little bit louder. So, you know how we've been talking about, taking a pause and asking ourselves, what are we feeling right now? Are we feeling like we are just unable to focus? Are we overstimulated? Remember how in a couple of previous videos we have been talking about taking those pauses and assessing ourselves? That counts also with making sure that we're very intentional about what we're putting in our bodies. And if you've been missing those videos, right there, I got you. But let's say that right now you are unable to focus, you're overstimulated, you are just buzzing with nervous energy. You want to kind of go with a more bland option. We're talking plain pita crackers, very delicious by the way. Maybe some plain nuts. I love salt as much as the next guy, but we're trying to ground here. We're trying to slow everything down and bring everything down a notch. But also, grab some walnuts for some omega-3s. Or say, you know what, you're not exactly a big fan of those options. Having some celery or lettuce is also a very nice, soothing way to chill everything out and great for hydration. Sometimes to help chill that energy out, we just actually need to stop and drink some water. And if it's a bad time for eating for whatever reason, you're stuck at your desk or you're just too on the go for whatever reason, say it's a bad time to eat, literally when you're pausing to assess or when you're just finally realizing you are just that spazzy that it's time to pause, just sit down and very intentionally drink that water, okay? Focus on the sips and the fact of just it rushing over your tongue and down your throat. If you're focusing on that, it will bring everything down to a much, much better level. Now, sorry, I haven't been doing my stretches like I've been meaning to do better on to help relax my own personal muscles. But back to food and drink. Let's say that your problem isn't that you're overstimulated. Your problem is that you have been going so hard and so long that you've hit autopilot. You know what's going on around you, but you are just feeling completely dead inside, and you're just going through the motions. And you feel like it's time to wake yourself back up. If you're looking for a gentle way to move things forward, which I do recommend, gentle is always better than super fast and shoving yourself into a situation that you're not mentally prepared for yet. I always recommend either apples or some carrots or broccoli. Apples are a very nice gentle taste and texture that just slowly brings everything back in order. Carrots and broccoli, again, a more zingy but gentle taste to bring everything back into yourself. And also because of how both plants are actually a more ground plant, it is, ironically, forgive the pun, great for grounding. So that you're actually coming back to yourself without all of the mess coming back with you. You're actually able to wake back up, if you will, in a more calm and safer space mentally. But say that you are not quite autopilot, but you're ready to start feeling like your zingy self again. Berries. They have that zingy flavor, and they're bright, and they are just ready to go type energy foods. And again, say it's a bad time to eat because of whatever reason, desk job or retail work, whatever it may be. If you're only able to do a beverage, fruit juices are a great way to start bringing yourself back to a more awake state, or even some stronger herbal teas or floral teas are also a great way, because of both the smell and the taste will actually start bringing you back to yourself and make you more ready to go. Intuition returns when your system feels safe and balanced, and what you ingest does fully affect not just your physical body, but quite literally your entire system. You would be amazed on the studies that have proven that what you eat and drink actually does affect your psyche on a few different levels. I've actually been using it myself to try and encourage an extra cheat system for my seasonal affective disorder. And as you may have noticed, I still feel pretty awesome. There might be something to those theories. But let's say that, kind of still going along with the whole food idea, that you want to not just work on just intentionally eating, but maybe work on balancing a certain chakra, because believe it or not, your third eye and crown chakras do not necessarily have to be out of whack for the rest of your chakras to be a little on the wonky donkey side. Believe it or not, but even just say your sacral chakra is off kilter, that can have a ripple effect both up and down with your energies. So with that in mind, how can we do that with food? The nice thing is that, believe it or not, but it is actually a very simple match the color type of deal. Say, mentioning the solar plexus, say that little bugger's off and you know all of the signs and symptoms. I'm happy to do a video on that later if you guys want to leave a comment. Chakra, I will definitely get on that for a series very soon in 2026. But again, say your solar plexus is the one that you know is out of whack. Go with the yellow foods. Pineapples, yellow potatoes, bananas, yellow squash. All of those are actually really good for helping you balance that solar plexus chakra. But say you are dead set and you know for a fact it has got to be your third eye chakra that's just going wonka-donka bonkers. You want to go for some blackberries. This could be the berry itself, it could be the tea, or speaking of tea, another great tea that is a quick, great, and easy one to find is peppermint tea. It is a great opener and delicious. If you're, into peppermint anyway. But keep in mind that this isn't a strict rule to go off of. This is just intuitive support. If you notice something that works a little bit better for you, there is absolutely no shame in kind of tweaking the system a little. Because, hey, everyone's path and everyone's vibration is different. But again, the best way to start all of this when it comes to your food and your self-assessment is, again, I mentioned in previous videos, we've talked about taking a pause and assessing ourselves, trying out some foods and some drinks to kind of help out with empowering yourself and ensuring that you are ready for 2026 on every level. Checking out the foods and drinks that you can start stabilizing your system with is a great start. Because also, when you pause, you're going to start probably noticing some patterns emerge that will also all over affect your physical, mental, and emotional health. Because when you start taking care of yourself, mental clarity, emotional balance, spiritual growth, and grounding, when those root causes are addressed, the balance and growth of those things will follow every time. I've yet to find it not be the case. But please keep in mind that as much as I do encourage resting, because we do live in an active society, balance, as with anything else in this world, is necessary. We live in a world of motion. We do need to rest. But too much rest, too much indulging in just that chill mindset can occasionally disconnect us from that momentum. Action is sometimes just as nurturing as resting. But how do you know which one you need to do? Sometimes that can and does get tricky. It is way too easy to say, oh, I just feel like I need to rest right now, and when in reality, you're avoiding and you need to do that action to ensure that you are still going forward with yourself. So let's talk about a sign of when you legitimately do need to rest. This can be a case where trying to keep going feels heavy, not, oh my God, this is all going to be just too damn much. No. It is not spazzy. It is not active, crazy, nutty energy. It is when you know that if you go one more step, you're going to fall over. And your body and mind can feel a little on the dull side or foggy, like you just have legit no idea what's going on because there's too much going on around you, or you legit can't focus because you're just ready, like I said, to fall over. It is time to rest. It is time to stop. Now, time to continue. A time to know that you need to just do a gentle push to keep on going with the momentum. It's when you feel twitchy, not tired. When you know that you've got energy that needs to go somewhere, but you're not sure where. That is typically your avoidance talking, where you're not depleted of energy. You're not feeling like one more step is going to be too damn much. It is when you are trying like hell to avoid that step, or when you know that you are needing to get something done. Again, I know it sounds like avoidance, but there is avoidance and actually trying to skip that step, and there is twitchy knowing you need to do energy but really wanting to stop. That is more of a, you're looking at a list of 100 other things that need to be done also right now. That is when you just need to pause and pick where to push. Not necessarily rest, but pause. Now, a way that we can kind of work with the need to rest, okay? To rest without guilt. Name the thing. If the thing that is exhausting you right now is housework, say, I will give myself an earlier time to sleep tomorrow so I've got energy to do this housework. If the issue is that you've not been eating properly, say, I accept that today I did not do my best on nurturing myself. I will try another quieter set of foods tomorrow. If the issue is that you are shoving too much into a day, tell yourself, I know I'm a superhero, but even superheroes prioritize what danger is where. Because let's face it, you are a superhero. Look at all you do. Name whatever it is that is giving you the guilts and tell yourself one positive way to change it the next day. Because guess what? All of it will still be there the next day. I am living proof that, yes, I have let dishes sit in my sink and my house didn't explode. It was just annoying to still have to do. But because I took that rest, I was better able to be there for where I was more needed than the dishes. Now, let's say that your needed thing is a push. Choose one small action. Not necessarily completion, but one small action that you know you can do. And the nice thing is increments. Even just doing that one thing that you know you need to do still counts as getting it done. 5 minutes on, 5 minutes off. Or if you feel strong enough to do it, 10 minutes on and 5 minutes off. It does work. It does do beautiful things. I've used it on myself and my children. They are 17 and 11. And I've noticed beautiful things, not only with things getting done, but more harmony in the home. And let me tell you, a house of 3 women, harmony is beautiful. Now, another thing that you can do to nurture yourself other than eating properly and knowing when to rest and when to push is giving yourself an emotional safety net. Because if you are feeling safe on your emotions, if you are feeling balanced with your emotions, you feel that much safer to trust. Note the word trust. Not just hear it, but trust your intuition. To know that it is telling you the right thing and way to go. Because you'll have enough trust in yourself to follow through. Because you'll finally realize you are finally balanced and safe. Now, one of those great ways is the tried and true journaling system. Because it is almost as effective as saying an affirmation verbally, telling a person your problems, whatever the case may be. Sometimes it is actually just as good as saying these issues out loud, because journaling gives you a safe place to let go of what you need to let go, to retain beautiful memories or lessons from things that you were letting go of. And also, it's just proof of how far you've come. The fact that you've been continuing through everything. And if journaling is not your thing, because journaling really honestly isn't for everyone. A pet or a virtual companion if you're not able to have pets. Because it gives you a semblance of love that you can give and feel returned, because our pets do appreciate us. I'm not gonna lie, I do question if cats actually appreciate us beyond just saying good job, human. But even a virtual pet, it gives you something to give you a semblance of something that still needs you to take care of it, and gives you an excuse if you're one of those that has a hard time with momentum, to know that if you don't take care of this pet or virtual companion, it will not continue. So sometimes that is actually one of the best ways for people to have that momentum continue. But I also know that sometimes pets or virtual companions are just not it because of the noise, maybe even the possibility of just a living presence that has more obvious life than a, believe it or not, but I also encourage plants as companion type entities, because plants do come with amazing personalities all their own, and they still require regular care, which again is great for that momentum, but it's also great for grounding, because you're actually actively working with something that lives in the dirt, unless you're doing some hydroponics, which is actually pretty nifty if you choose to do it. But good, bad, or indifferent, where your emotions are based at is exactly where your intuition is going to flow. So if your emotions are based in a good, safe, healthy, balanced area, your intuition is going to go right in that direction. But before I let all of you go, I want to leave you with a few final words of advice. Intuition, again, is something that we all have, but it will never be heard if you demand more from yourself than what you are able to actually give. If you're trying to put in a 27, 28-hour day in a 24-hour period, your intuition is going to get drowned out, because there is nothing that it can use to be heard. It is quiet, it is soft, and it will not scream. If you are letting the entire world be loud, that you are drowning it out, it will not be able to grow, and it will not be able to help you. So, when we actually nurture ourselves, when we take care of ourselves, your intuition will strengthen with that self-care. Self-care is one of the most amazing things we can do for ourselves, because it makes us that much better all around. So, whenever you are feeling like you are not allowed to take that moment to take care of yourself, I want you to try and do one thing. Tell yourself this: I don't have to be perfect. I need to be present. And all that means is we are all a work in progress. Our only real job is just to be exactly where we are in that moment. So, take one of those ideas and start running with it, so that you can be a better self and your intuition can be your guide and best friend for all of 26. Have a good night.